show. Now, as we mentioned earlier in the show, March is Pet Poison Prevention Awareness Month. And so today we want to make sure that you are able to keep your pets at home. We have Dr. Hansen joining us. Not only is he the president and CEO of the Arizona Humane Society, he's also a veterinary toxicologist. So we have the perfect person to talk with us today.
Well, thank you for having me, Kelsey.
Thank you, Dr. Hansen, and thank you, Little Wiggly Butt. Now, today we're doing something a little different. We are actually going to have some tweets from current and former AHS pets who want to know different things about poisons that can be found around the home. And first we have at Rosanna Bobana, who says, I see a really bright orange bottle that rattles. It looks fun and I can reach it on the counter. Can I has it? Oh man, so I think she's talking about medicine bottles, and of course those are probably really fun looking for dogs, but that's actually one of the #1 poisons that pets get into. Is that correct?
That's right, Kelsey. So each year the National Animal Poison Control Center takes about 200,000 calls, and many of those calls are related to prescription and over-the-counter drugs. It's the #1 reason that people call.
Oh
it's often a dog, and usually a dog that gets themselves in trouble, like we have Walter here. But what happens is a pill vial, when it's knocked on the floor, becomes a toy. It rattles and shakes. It has an unusual smell. So you can imagine how hard it is, or you've probably tried to give a pill to a pet before. But when they discover that pill vial, they'll chew up the pill vial and they'll get inside, and they'll consume oftentimes as many pills are actually available. It's really important to make sure that all pill vials, and especially the 7-day pill minders, are stored above the counter. They should never be on a counter. Cats are notorious for getting on counters and knocking pill vials off and exposing our canine friends who then eat the pills, and the cats are smart enough not to.
Oh man, so
we
they're
want to
like,
avoid exposure.
Yeah, so they're the double trouble right there. One does it and then the other one eats it and gets sick.
That's
so that's
right.
very important to think. And now we also have another one that I think everyone can attest to at home, that since Easter's coming up, we need to make sure. Now we have Bunny Target, who says, when you think of Easter, you think of little old me, but there's lots of chocolate around. Can my furry friends and I have some as a special treat? So yes, there's going to be lots of chocolates coming up today, but there's also some other foods that we need to watch out for with our animals.
So certainly as we get into Easter, chocolate is a common question that we get. And dogs are sensitive to chocolate, but there's a big difference between the types of chocolate. So milk chocolate, so for example, a dog of about this size would have to consume 1 or 2 ounces of milk chocolate to even remotely be a problem. But if we switch it over to baking chocolate, it's probably a couple of bites. So baking chocolates and dark chocolates are very concentrated. Milk chocolate has very little real chocolate. Chocolate usually just causes vomiting and diarrhea. It can cause tremors and seizures, but that's very uncommon, and we have to get quite a bit of chocolate.
Okay, definitely. And then so there's some other stuff too, like onions that they need to watch out for. Also fake sugar, you know, and make sure you check your peanut butter out there. If it has fake sugar in it, you want to avoid it with your pets out there. So thank you, Dr. Hansen. And now everyone at home knows that our pets love to get into absolutely everything. And at Gouda Buddha here agrees, saying, I love playing in plants. I palm, I chew them, and I sit on them. My human has some pretty flowers now, and I think I will eat them. Now there are a few plants that our pets need to be especially aware of. So what are some of those, Dr. Hansen?
Well, this time of year, we do like to talk about poinsettia. Poinsettia is not a poisonous plant. It's still in the literature that it is a poisonous plant. Poinsettia is not a problem for dogs or cats. But Easter lilies are. We do not want cats consuming Easter lilies or tiger lilies or other types of true lily plants. It will cause kidney failure very reliably in cats. So we want to make sure that anytime a new bouquet comes into the house, if you have cats, make sure that there are no lily flowers.
Oh, that's a very good point. Okay, so and definitely we know that cats like to chew on things that are up high, especially plants. Now next you might be able to recognize our tweeter, Tokyo, says, there are lots of bottles under the sink and in the garage with crossbones on them. I heart bones, #yum. Now it seems like he might think that some of our chemicals out there, oh my gosh, little wiggly butt right here is just wanting to get out there and tweet to you guys. Now, Tokyo might think that some of our chemicals in our garage and under our sink are eatable.
Yeah, so first thing we want to avoid are medications. But chemicals under the sink are a close second. The best thing to do is to use childproof locks on doors, or to even store all of the cleaners under the cabinet, above the cabinet, behind a closed door. Drain cleaners can be particularly dangerous. They're very caustic. Any products that say that they're disinfecting. If they kill bacteria, they'll be very irritating to a dog's throat or a cat's tongue. So a cat will often lick some concentrate. It doesn't take much to cause them severe sores on the tongue, and they won't be able to eat. So all those chemicals should be stored out of reach, at least with child-proof locks, ideally above the counter.
Definitely. And so one special one that people need to watch out for is antifreeze. Is that right?
Antifreeze is a problem for both dogs and cats. It doesn't take a lot of antifreeze to disrupt their kidneys. It can destroy their kidneys. So we want to make sure in the garage that we store all antifreeze products high on shelves. We want to make sure we keep gasoline cans, kerosene, turpentine, all of these types of solvents stored high as well. The other thing to watch out for in the garage are rat poisons. Rat two things. They can cause bleeding or they can cause seizures, and both of them can be very problematic.
Definitely, and I think that actually is a great transition into our next tweet. Our next critter Twitter says, she loves to romp around but has no energy and has a real upset tummy. So she thinks that she ate something that she shouldn't have. What are some signs that if Joy did eat something, that she got into something that she might not have? What are some signs that some pet owners should look out for? So
the most common signs we get with most poisons and overdoses of any kind really is an upset stomach, so vomiting and diarrhea. It doesn't sound like fun, but you should look and see what the dogs have actually thrown up. This puppy, when he were to vomit, we'd want to see if there are pieces of pills in the vomit, if there's any different colors, anything that might suggest that he got into something, pieces of plastic that he may have chewed up. So vomiting and diarrhea is first. Depending on the poison, we can have depression, so they can be very weak. We can also have muscle tremors and seizures, which can be much more serious.
Thank you. That's definitely things that we need to watch out for. Now, our last Twitter entry is from @LouisPawStrong. Mommy said I shouldn't have gotten into the cabinet and needs to call someone for help. I can do it. Oh wait, I have paws. #no thumbs. Okay, now we talked about the signs of poisoning. If we do suspect that our pets have been poisoned at home, what are some of the first steps that they need to do right away to make sure that they have a high viability and that they're able to survive?
So the very first thing to do is to take a quick look around and see if you've got any evidence that something's been consumed, and then call your veterinarian or call your poison center, especially the National Animal Poison Control Center, so you can get some very specific advice on what to do next. It's important to move quickly, but we want to make sure that we have accurate information. So find out what they've gotten into and call your veterinarian.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for all of your help today. And if you guys do suspect that your pets have been poisoned, make sure that you call right away. And we also have some other helpful hints on azhumane.org. Now, when we come back, to show you this wiggly butt Walter.